Thank you for tuning in. I am doing this video to hopefully simplify some numbers and calculations on how to either maintain or lose weight or gain muscle weight, whatever you're looking for. So whatever your goal, I know weight loss is usually the more common one, but even maintenance can get hard. So I know math is hard. I'm blessed with actually being kind of good at math, so I'm hoping that my strengths here can help you understand this all a lot better. So before we get started, I'm going to be throwing a lot of numbers at you and calculations, but I'm hoping to break it down and simplify it for you, and I'll explain everything as well. On that note, I will be releasing my 12-week shred program, and you will have all of these numbers and calculations broken down step by step. So stay tuned for that. So I do recommend having a pen and paper and a calculator handy because you are going to be doing some calculations. I'm going to walk you through. Two things you need to know before we get started is your height and your weight. Now, it doesn't matter what metrics you have these in, I will explain how to calculate them regardless. All right, so get your stuff and let's get to it. Okay, so first of all, we're going to establish what your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, is. This is what your body burns just doing nothing. Secondly, we're going to establish your total daily energy expenditure, so TDEE. That is how many calories you actually burn in a day. And then we're going to explain how to change your calorie goal intake based on your goals. All right, so first, BMR, basal metabolic rate. We're going to do 10 times your body weight. So if you have your body weight in pounds, I'm going to use my own numbers here to give you an example. So technically I'm like 148 pounds, but let's just say 150 pounds. We need that in kilograms. So we're going to divide it by 2.2, 68.18. I'm just going to round and say 68, okay? So 68 is my body weight in kilograms. Next, we need our height. So I'm 5'2". So 5 feet 2 inches. Every foot is 12 inches. So 12 times 5 is 60 plus 2. So 62 inches. Okay, 62 inches. So we're going to times that by 2.54 to get your height in centimeters. 157.48. I'm just going to round 157. Who's counting about that half, right? All right, so 157 is my height in centimeters. Now you have yours. And then you should know how old you are. But we're going to break it down here. So 10 times your body weight in kilograms. So again, I was 68 kilograms. So I'm going to do 10 times 68. That's 680. So we're going to write that down, okay? Write down your number, 10 times your body weight in kilograms. Now your height, so 6.25 times your height in centimeters. Mine was 157. So I have 981.25. So again, you're going to times 6.25 times your height in centimeters. Okay, write down that number. And then the next one is your age times 5. So I'm 34 times 5, that's 170. So we're going to write down that number, whatever that is, 5 times your age in years. It was my total 10 times body weight in kilograms is my 680 plus 6.25 times your height, so 981.25. Take away your age times 5, so that was 170 for me, plus 5, just because. So my BMR, my basal metabolic rate, is 1,496 calories, 0.25 if you want to get technical, okay? So you should have that full number, probably in the thousands or 2,000s. That is BMR what your body is burning in calories just sitting doing nothing. Now we want to find out what you're actually burning throughout the day based on your activity level. So, a couple numbers here you're going to see. If you're fairly sedentary, you're not really doing much, maybe going for a walk here and there, but mostly sitting at your desk or something like that throughout the day, 1.2 is your activity level number. 1.35 is going to be lightly active. 1 to 2 days you're doing something, maybe you play a sport, maybe you hit the gym. Moderate activity is going to be 1.55. That is 3 to 5 days, fairly intense, moderately intense, active, and then maybe you're still moving around a bit on those other days. Very active, that means you're working out fairly hard almost every single day. 6 to 7 days a week, you are working out hard. So that's 1.75 is your activity level number. And then 2 is extremely active, means you are working out every day very hard, and you are also very active in your job. So a hard labor type of job might make you into that 2 activity level number. So what we're going to do is take your BMR number times your activity level number. So I had 1496.25. So 3 to 5 days vigorous activity. Now, I'm fairly active, but I'm going to be honest with myself. Only 3 to 5 days a week am I actually really crushing a super intense workout. Now, when I'm in prep and I'm doing my morning cardio every day, plus my workouts every day, that is going to take me into more of a 1.75, a very active 6 to 7 days, because I still give myself that rest day even when I'm in prep. So just to put things in perspective, let's be honest with ourselves here on what your true activity level is, okay? So I'm going to use 1.55 because right now, only 3 to 5 days a week am I actually really intensely working out, all right? So my BMR times my activity level number, 1.55. So my total here, I'm going to write this down, is 2319. So 2,319 calories, 0.18. But I'm just going to round a lot of these numbers to simplify. So 2319 is what I'm actually burning every day. If I'm looking to maintain, that's going to be my calorie intake. If I'm looking to lose weight, so 3,500 calories is 1 pound. Just some math there. Yes, different foods are different. We have things called EPOC and increasing overall metabolism. There's obviously going to be variables throughout. This is just a guideline. I'm really trying to simplify this for all of you, okay? So let's just cut the bullshit and keep this as simple as possible, okay? We want to just think this is a generalization, a good guideline to at least be on the right track to your goals. Now, aiming to do more than 1 or 2 pounds a week is very, very, very aggressive. It is not sustainable, and it is probably not very healthy either, which means you're more likely to fall back off, gain that weight back, and probably gaining even more. So let's stay a little more sustainable, keep it healthy, and remember, consistency is so key to not only getting to your goal, but staying there. And this will be more sustainable. And you can kind of still live your life and go about your day and not be totally miserable. Okay, so 2319 was my total daily energy expenditure. What I'm looking for here is if I'm looking to lose weight, I need to make sure I'm eating less than that in my day, or drinking. Keeping in mind, drinks and food both have calories. So 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. We're looking to take this away from food, but potentially also increase activity. This is a little bit of a twofold because now you don't have to take away as much food, but we also want to progressively change your activity level. If you're starting from sedentary sitting on the couch and you're going to try to burn 1,000 calories a day and just go so hard, that is not realistic. Your body will break down and it will fight you very hard on that. That is how injuries happen. You'll fall off because you need to recover. And then again, you're going to start from square one or maybe even further back than where you started. So let's ease into this. We want to feel good. We want to feel energized, and we want to get to the results we want in a healthy, sustainable way. Okay? So the most you want to subtract here from your food is 500 calories a day. That is your 1 pound a week just by taking away 500 calories from your food. If you're also increasing your activity level, which I strongly recommend, then you're going to see better changes. Also, some people will do 250 from food and 250 in exercise. 250 in exercise is still very challenging. That is at least 30 minutes of pretty vigorous activity. So keep that in mind. Anyways, 500 calories a day, let's go there. So if I'm taking away 500 calories from that 2319, take away 500, 1819. So that is my overall daily goal in calories. Again, we can also increase that activity level to get a little acceleration on that weight loss, but try to keep things sustainable here. So now we're going to move on to calculating your macros. Now there is a lot of school of thought on different types of diets and nutrition plans, and every body is going to be different. Every person is different. Some people are a little more sensitive to carbs, which means eating a little bit, they balloon out, they get inflammation. Keeping in mind there's different types of carbs. There's different types of food. I'm going to have a few tips here just to help you get to your goals faster. One, try to get your food in its whole form, its most natural form, meaning cut the processed stuff. Stay away from as much of the packaged stuff as possible. If you are taking your own natural food and freezing it so it stays longer, that's totally fine. That is not the same as a processed food. But if you're getting things from packages that are pre-made, have really long ingredient lists, a bunch of ingredients that you can't pronounce and you have no idea what it is, those are the things I recommend staying away from. Also, deep fried foods. That is really going to not help with this struggle of losing weight. You're going to be adding a lot of extra calories, but also a lot of those fats are not good in our body, clogging our arteries, creating other health risks, not just that weight gain. So, getting our food in its most natural form. Don't be afraid of spices and herbs to create some more flavor profiles. That is totally fine. But looking at sauces and dips and things like that, if that's what you're using for flavor, that is going to be, again, a tougher route to see progress. They have a lot of extra calories, fats, sugars that we want to stay away from. So back to it. Again, there are keto, there's paleo, there's vegan, carnivore, there's all these different diets, intermittent fasting, you name it. There's different things and ways that people lose weight. Some might be great for you and some might not. So I'm just going to simplify a nice blanket statement here and say we're going to get proteins, carbs, and fats, but going back to my original message there, try to get things in its most natural form. First thing, protein, in my personal opinion, and a lot of other fitness professionals will probably agree, is one of the most important macronutrients to see results, maintain a healthy, lean body weight. So this is also going to vary a little bit. Some people have a hard time getting a lot of protein in, so you can start a little lower. My personal recommendation is usually 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if I'm going to round up and say 150, I'm looking to get 150 grams of protein a day. I know that can be very intimidating and seem like a lot. So there is another calculation that is still a very great goal. If you're looking at kilogram of your body weight, you can do 1.5 or 2 grams per kilogram. So again, I was 68. So if I do 1.5 times 68 kilograms, that's only 102 grams. I can definitely get more than that. So let's try 2. 2 times 68. So 136 grams of protein. That's a much better goal. I would try to get towards the higher number if you can, but if you're a little bit short of that, no big deal. Let's just really try to get lean proteins in every meal. So I'm still going to go back to my original 150 goal. So 150 grams of protein is my goal. Back to some numbers here. Proteins, carbs, fats. Those are your macronutrients. Protein, for 1 gram of protein, it is 4 calories. Carbs, 1 gram of carb is 4 calories. Fats, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So keeping that into consideration when we're looking at portions and how to break it down. Those are your macros. Those are some magic numbers you want to remember. Let's go back to some calculations here. I'm looking at 1819 as my total calories for the day. I'm aiming for 150 grams of protein. So what is that in calories? So 150 times 4. So 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. 150 grams of protein times 4. I'm looking at 600 calories of my 1819 is coming from protein. Okay. Next, we're going to calculate fat. In my personal opinion, that is probably the second most important because fats are going to help you feel more satiated. It's going to help regulate hormones, and it does a number of really great things in your body, including your immune, your cell function, all of that protective stuff inside the body as well, lubricating the joints. Where do you think that comes from? Obviously, keeping hydrated is also important on that, but enough said. So a good guide for fat intake is 25 to 30% of your calories. Back to some math here. So 1819 was my total calories. If I'm looking to do 30% of that, I'm going to times that by 0.3. So 545.7. We can just round it 545. So that's how many calories I need to get 30% of my intake from fats. Remember, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So that 545, I'm going to divide by 9 to find out how many grams I need. So 60.55 is how many grams I want from fats. Again, you can round it and just say 60. So 60 grams of fat, 150 grams of protein. Now it's just some leftover math to figure out how many carbs we're going to get. So I'm going to add the calories so far to find out what we're working with. So 600 calories was from my protein, plus 545 was from my fats. So that's 1145 calories that I've already accounted for. My total calories was 1819. So I'm going to take away what we've just calculated, that 1145, and we're left with 674 calories left, which means our remaining macronutrients, carbs, is going to be 674 calories. Again, 1 gram of carb is 4 calories. So all we need to do is divide that by 4 to find out how many grams we need of carbs. So 674 divided by 4, it's 168.5, but we can round again. So 168 grams of carbs, 60 grams of fat, and 150 grams of protein is what I am going to aim for. Again, what I said earlier, we're kind of cutting some of the bullshit. There's carb cycling. There's having more carbs on your workout days than your rest days. Now, I am actually a big believer in carb cycling as well, or eating more carbs based on my activity level. So on heavier lifting days, I'm utilizing a lot more calories. I'm depleting a lot more carbs and glycogen stores from my muscles. So I want to get the best recovery possible. And after those intense workouts is when your body's just going to kind of suck up all those carbs. Okay. So again, just to simplify those calculations today, that is a really good starting point. Now, if you want to dive into some more personalized things, again, each person based on their goals and their own body type and their body and how it functions is going to be a little bit different. If you're having some insulin sensitivity to carbs and sugars, you might want to decrease those carbs. And the carbs that you do have, you really want to make sure they are healthy, complex, low glycemic type of carbs, basmati rice, whole grains, things like that. If you are having some hormonal issues, so maybe PCOS, maybe menopause, maybe low testosterone, having those increased healthy fats is going to help with the hormonal function. So again, you might want to decrease the carbs a little and increase the fats a little. But again, your calorie intake isn't going to change. It's just going to change how you do your calculations. So again, I'm not going to dive into all the nitty gritty and the different ways you can get into some weight loss and get to your goals, but this was just to give you a general idea of where you should start in terms of your calorie intake and how much of those calories are coming from proteins, carbs, and fats. I hope this was helpful. And again, my 12-week shred program goes over these calculations step by step so you can get there easily. I hope this was helpful and useful. And if there's something you want to hear more about, leave it in the comment, but subscribe and like for more of these videos.